Hi everyone, welcome to Push Your Luck video. My name is Eric and today we'll be looking at Assault on Doomrock. Now this is a 2014 release by Beautiful Disaster Games or BD Games, and it's by designer Tom Stasiak. I apologize if I pronounce your name wrongly. Much thanks to BD Games for this review copy. So Assault on Doomrock, it is a 1 to 4 player game where players are adventurous, they are exploring your land, leveling up, getting good weapons in preparation to fight, to have 3 big fight encounters. Alright, and so they are trying to reach Doomrock and kill the boss before the deck runs out, and if they manage to do that, then the heroes win, and the heroes will lose if they die, if all of them die out during their exploration, or if they fight the battle and they lost the entire battle. So let's take a look at Assault on Doomrock, the components, how it plays, and my thoughts about the game. Alright, so these are the components you get in Assault on Doomrock. Now, it is largely a card-based game. There's no board per se, there's no miniatures and stuff like that. If you're expecting things like that, then Assault on Doomrock will not have these things. So if you think of it like, if it's like Super Dungeon Explore, they have a lot of miniatures, you move around and you're doing a dungeon romp with all these miniatures and there's a board and stuff like that. Assault on Doomrock is purely a card-based game. And there are still icons there, there's still a bit of positioning, especially when you do battles, but it is largely an extracted version of a dungeon romp. I will not, so all the cards are quite good quality, there's a lot of tokens, there's also a lot of dice, so these are the mini D6 dice that you use to determine what actions you can do. There's also these nice, so this will represent who you are, so this is like this will be for the Ranger. Alright, so this will be for the Ranger. So this will represent who you are. These are like the monster tokens. This will represent the monsters. There are many different types of monsters in the game. So this will be like, this is a monster token. And if they're injured, then they will go to the other side, which is like yellow. So this is like 2 health and this is 1 health. And this is like the boss token. So if you meet a boss later on, and this will represent the boss token. This represents gold. This is the number of time tokens in a particular setting. Alright, so this is a setting for the game, and you will have like a number of time tokens. So when the time tokens expire, then you will trigger, you meet the first battle. Then after that you reset again, you explore again, then after that when you have a new setting, then when that expires you meet second, and then you meet a third. So you're trying to reach Doomrock, which is a location card, and then before the third battle starts. And so you're kind of like having the third battle in the Doomrock, alright, to fight the last final boss. These are locations. So the locations where you can travel to are also cards as well. So, and then they will also have these like icons, like exploration icons. So once they are gone, through certain actions on a card or elsewhere, once they are gone, then you will consider this location explored, and you can no longer do actions that require these icons for that particular location. This will represent the party. So your party is currently here. For you always start at the town, but you can always move around. Now, when you move around, you need to use time, for example. And so there are different decks as well. There are like common items, there's epic items, and then there's powers that you can use to upgrade your hero. I will not go into too much details about how to play the game, but I will give you, because there's quite a lot of rules videos out there that show you how to play the game. So I will go more into detail of what I liked about the game and what I did not like about the game, to give you a good feel of whether this game is suitable for you or not. Alright, so at the start of the game, you can choose from these different heroes. I think there's expansion that's coming out now. It's coming out in Essen 2015. So you can, I think that will add more heroes as well. So you can choose any of the heroes. The hero card will show you like this is the health they have, this is the icon they have, and this is the threat level. So the threat level will come into play when you decide what the monsters do. So when the monsters try to attack, who they'll attack first, they usually attack the one who has the highest threat level. So you see there's a very nice picture of the hero that you have. You get this hero. You also will get to have a set of traits. So these are like randomly dealt to you. So that's quite interesting for me, because it's like, oh, my hero can be an erratic hero. So you place your erratic warrior, so you can place your cards like that. Alright, you'll see that the cards also have like little slots for you to place cards, like you have artifact, armor, left hand, right hand. So this will be like your character sheet in a dungeon D&D game. So this is like your character sheet. So you can choose one of them. You also will start with some starting items. So for different heroes, there will be different starting items, as well as the trait will also give you a starting ability as well. So you have different abilities at the start, which will also give you different actions that you can do. So these are the different available abilities that you will have. So for example, for the warrior, I'll need to look at the symbol at the bottom right hand corner here to look for. So this will be the ability that I have. All right. So that means I'll have this ability. So I have the tank ability as well as the melee strike ability and maneuver ability. All right. So I also will get whatever my trait gives me. So my trait gives me a panic attack ability. So I'll have a panic attack ability here, like so. So every player will have two character cards and 4 ability cards to start off with. You will not have starting items. Alright, and the party will have a certain amount of goal, and then they can start exploring. So you'll be spending time moving around, exploring. By using, if you move across to different cards, you'll be spending time to move across, and then you can do things there. So in each of the locations, there are certain number of things that you can do. So like this will show you, oh, you need to spend 2 of the discovery and spend 1 time as well, and then you get heroism +1. That means everyone gets a heroism token, and then there's loot and stuff like that. So it's pretty interesting. I like how kind of abstracted it is. That it's all cards, but it does give you a feel of a dungeon ROM. So you're moving around, you're doing stuff, you are exploring, and so it is a co-op game. So players can discuss where they want to go, where they want to do, and do stuff. Now the main gist of actually getting things will be rolling dice. So you'll be like, oh, I want to go get loot, for example. So now I need to roll dice. So I'll roll dice and see what I can get. Alright, and that's where I may not like it as much, because in a way you have a lot of information, you can plan what you want to do, but it comes through rolling dice to decide what you can get. I guess it is not so bad, because you need to have a bit of luck to make the game more interesting. Like, oh no, you rolled badly, oh you should not roll again, kind of thing for the party. So it's not too bad, but yeah, it is just a small mark against it in my view. So you move around. So after you have cleared all the times, and then you now meet the first battle. So what you meet depends on what you have. So there's different set of animals, different set of monsters that you can meet. So you meet the animal, you set up. So depending on what type of different players you have different setups. So for example, if I play 2 players, I have 4 minions. They are 6 HP each, 1 armor and 1 command. So 6 HP means that I'll need to have, each minion will have a stack like this. So there will be 4. So I'll have 4 of these stacks. So each of this represents 2 HP. So this is like 1 Beast of Doom. So this is 1 Beast of Doom. It is again abstracted, so you cannot like have nice figures like, oh, it looks like a Beast of Doom and this is 6 HP, as some other games have. So this is kind of abstracted. It can be good or bad. You may prefer to have minis. You can also bling out this game by having your own minis and stuff like that. But I guess for its purposes, it's fine, because it's just an abstract game. It's like the streamlined, more efficient version of a dungeon ROM as compared to some of the other more bling games. So so you'll be fighting this monster. Now another interesting thing about this game is that each monster will have like an AI deck. So you shuffle this depending on the number of players though. So let's say like this will be like, if you only have 2 or 3 players, this card will be discarded. So you will shuffle this deck, and then during your turn, when you're doing the battle, you need to activate a certain number of monsters. Alright, so what happens is you draw a card, you choose a monster, you draw a card, and you follow the actions that they have. So for example, in this case, unless engaged means you're adjacent to a current hero. So you can move to active hero. So that will be the hero that has activated this monster. Then after you do in this sequence, you deal 1 damage to adjacent active hero. So you deal a damage to the active hero that you have engaged with. Then you deal +1 damage unless this beast is exposed. There will be exposed counters like this. Alright, so throughout the expedition you're moving on, you'll have certain exposed counters, you get expo counters on your characters. So these expo counters will have different varieties of effects. So sometimes they will +1 damage whatever you have taken. There are quite a few blanks out there, and then different icons. So what do they mean is that when you are attacked, or when any creature or any player is attacked, you need to review all the exposed markers and resolve them. So exposed markers are not good. Alright, then after you remove one exposed marker. So this is like you follow this entire steps and you execute it. So I quite like this thing because it means that there's no need for a dungeon master per se, and you can play this solo as well, which is what I enjoy doing. You can play solo, you can try to complete the missions all by yourself. There's no need for someone to sit there and not enjoy the game per se. Like Descent, for example, you have one dungeon master, the rest of players are beating against you. So this is everybody beating against the game itself. The bad would be that after a while you could probably try to if you play the game several times, you could probably realize what is going to come out next and mitigate it, so you can arrange the cards, or you can arrange your players better. The other interesting thing is about how you can do action. So how do you attack these monsters that are attacking you? So at the beginning of the battle, players will be rolling dice. So they usually have 4 dice. So they roll the dice. Alright, they can reroll 2 more times, but after that they are committed. Then after they'll be placing a dice on these actions. So you see that these abilities will have different actions. Like this one means it needs a 1 or 2 dice to activate it. Alright, the lightning means that it is an initiative ability. That means you can do it before the creatures attack you. And the little symbol here means the number of times you can use this power during one turn. Alright, so for example, if I can put a 6 here, I didn't get enough good things to do, so I roll again. And, I got enough 6, so I could have 2 melee strikes, and I could just try to maneuver. If things go wrong, then I roll one more time. Right, 3, I cannot put it anywhere. So any dice you cannot put anywhere is lost. Alright, then after during my turn, I can then use this to execute. So I can then use one of them. I can do a melee attack. So deal 3 damage to adjacent character. Then if you see, it has this like what's up symbol. This is like heroism symbol. So if you discard a heroism token, you get +1 damage as well. So this is what the warrior can do. And you can do, if I had a 1 dice, for example, I can tank. Now some of these character cards also have like strength as well. So this tells you like, oh, right now the warrior will have 2 strength. So these are for items. Later on you get items that have a minimum requirement, like, oh, to equip this item you need to have 2 strength. So you can see how many strength you have based on the cards that you have, the player has. And so you keep doing this, the other interesting thing about the game is the moving around. So if you're doing a battle, so let's say I'm doing a battle now, I will decide that at the beginning of battle I can decide whether my players are together or separate. Then after, the monsters will come. So you just set up the monsters like so, and then so in that previous example, it will now move. So it will move towards, you just move it towards the active character like that. And now so they are engaged, so they can attack each other hand to hand, for example. So most of the things is like whether you are next to each other or away from each other. So that is an abstracted version of a dungeon fight. The typical dungeon romp, usually you need to move around, line of sight, blah blah blah, and stuff like that. So this takes out all the tricky rules and makes it much more simpler and more streamlined. So that is the gist of the game. So let's go to my thoughts about Assault on Doomrock. So what I think about Assault on Doomrock. Now this is I would say this is a very difficult review for me to do. Why? Because my co-host liked it a lot, and based on his recommendations, I seeked out a copy, and I tried to enjoy it as much as he did. But I did not enjoy my play of it, and I can't really pinpoint why. I mean, there are quite a lot of good points about it, as I mentioned in the previous segment. So it's like an abstracted version. It should play fast, and it should be easy to get into, because you don't need to like paint miniatures and move around and think of how many steps I'm moving and stuff like that. But at the same time, this abstractedness of it kind of brings it down for me. I don't know, if I wanted to play a dungeon romp, maybe I'm spoiled by all the games like from Cool Mini or not, like Super Dungeon Explorer and stuff like that. So Arcadia Quest, for example, all these have minis and they look nice. It's something to look at when you're playing. It brings you more into the theme, whereas this being abstracted kind of takes it away, and I do not feel as much for it. It feels to me like I'm moving cards around. I'm just playing cards, reading off the cards, and there's a lot of reading to do. There's really a lot of reading to do. A lot of text to read, and a lot of things to do. So I feel as if the abstractedness took it away from for me. All right, so it's like a contradiction. Like abstractedness should make it more easier to play, faster as well. But because the setup takes some time, you need to shuffle, set things up. There's a lot of tokens as well to keep track of, and then after that, you're fighting. There's moving tokens around. I don't know. It's like trying to pretend to be a big dungeon ROM game, but just using cards. So it's like I kind of expected it to be like that, but since it's only cards, I don't know, it's like my expectation should have gone down, but when I'm playing it, I want it to be like Super Dungeon Explorer or like Arcadia Quest, where I'm all these minis, I'm moving minis around, I'm looking at the minis, they look good, I'm moving them around, I'm killing monsters, and the monsters have minis as well, so it will add more to the theme. I don't know if there was like minis to it or something more to it that's not so abstracted. So it's like there are some games that are abstract, that they're abstracted, so but it plays much more faster, and you don't have, it doesn't like simulate the actual dungeon ROM itself, so you do not feel like, oh okay, I know that this is a simulation of the actual dungeon ROM, so I don't have that high level expectation. But since this almost simulates a dungeon ROM but without the minis, I feel that kind of like brings it down a notch for me in terms of my expectation and my enjoyment of it. And it's also quite a difficult game. Like for example, the zombie horde. If you go on BGG Track, you read online, you see that some people have mentioned that the zombie horde seems to be overpowered. There's some monsters that seems to be overpowered, some that are not, and there's contradicting reviews and comments. Some people feel that, oh no, it's the other way around, or stuff like that. So it could be a mark of a good game in the sense that different people have different emotions about it. So for me, at least for me, it did not go so well with me. It kind of fell flat for me, and having to set up and tear down is also quite tedious. But of course, if you have a nice insert and stuff like that, then it should make things much more easier. But for me right now, it is not for me. So I would say that if you like the idea, if you wanted to try something abstracted that doesn't have a lot of minis, so you can give Doomrock a try. So I would say this is a try before you buy. Once again, thank you BD Games for this review copy, and thank you for watching.